was restless. I was young. I was a king. I spoke in tongues. He did it through me. He did it right. Took me from the gutter into a light. All the leaves
Go.
So we're on our way to a big fungus festival, our own fungus festival, and we're here with the effervescent Peo and Tim Shuck, master mushroomer, part-time phlebotomist, and Lexi Levy, number 2, also our senior jamboree leader at the Mikeology Store. And we're thinking we're probably going to find hedgehogs in Speed Trap Town, Cuyuna. Oh, I gave away location. Hedgehogs, lobsters, chanterelles. I expect probably yellowfoot and probably some trumpets. But it looks like a great day. It's low humidity. It's 80 degrees. It's early July in Minnesota. Are you pumped?
Yay!
Yes.
That didn't sound pumped. It's early too, by the way. So we'll see you in the woods. So we're out in the woods. We just stepped in, and lobsters sort of like some disturbances, like a lot of mushrooms do, and so it's nice when you walk in and the first thing you see is in the middle of the path, which is it's right down here. If you see, there's a lobster mushroom, which is a parasitic mushroom. That this one probably started out as a rustle of some species, but you can see that bright orange color. It's pretty unmistakable. And this one's not really in fantastical shape, but if a person was really hungry and wanted to make some risotto, I think they could take it. So I'm sure we'll start finding quite a few more here. Where there's one, there's usually many. So we were just sort of on our way out here, and Ranger John,
Or you can make a nice gumbo out of it.
happened to be driving by, and so stopped to chat for a little bit, and that's kind of a good thing we did, because just off the path we found a few chanterelles here. And if you've watched any of the other movies, you know down in southern Minnesota we really look for them around White Oak, but we're up in northern Minnesota. And we have a real hodgepodge. This is, some scrub oak. There's actually some elm around us. There's birch, there's a few pines. It's a very odd mixture, and so it's not easy to really see what they're relating to specifically. But if you come in closer down here, you see here's some more growing here, and they're in real good shape. And you can see the sort of easy to identify signs here with these false gills that run down, slightly down the stem. But they're not really the sort of gills that you can grab and pull at, which is why we call them false gills. And they also have a very unmistakable smell of apricot. Not a lot of poisonous lookalikes or anything to worry about other than the jack-o'-lantern, which if you saw them together probably look very different, but if you're a novice, that's one to really be careful with. And there's another real nice one. And usually where there's a few more, so we'll keep looking a little bit. So now look at what we have here. Really beautiful looking. It doesn't really look like a typical mushroom, does it? But this is called a black trumpet, and it's a really fragrant, fruity flavor to it. It's a really choice edible. By the way, my new nickname is Schwetty. If the mosquitoes don't kill us, we're going to see if we can find a few more of these, because they're, like I say, a really choice edible. There's not much you can mistake it for. And you see, they don't really have gills at all. They do, if you put it under a scope, you would see that they're tiny pores that they drop spores from, but nothing visible like a typical mushroom. They're, you know, they have sort of a fleshy feel to them, but great in pasta and especially, but a really delicious mushroom. So hopefully we can find some more. So I just thought this was interesting. At my feet here is a chicken of the woods, but obviously it's past prime. Not too far past. It's probably, you know, 3 weeks too old. But what's particularly interesting is if you look around the area here, you'll see that this is just growing, seemingly growing from the ground, and not as most people find chickens growing on dead wood. That's because there's actually two different species, and this is the species Cincinnatus, and Cincinnatus will be coming from the ground. That's one identifying characteristic. If it were in better shape, you'd be able to see color differences. The underside of the pore surface is a white color rather than an orangish color that you would see on its cousin. But it really would have been a great specimen if we'd been here a couple of weeks earlier. But hey, we're finding lots of mushrooms, so we'll keep looking.
So, lots of dead wood around us, you see, which should make a person look for mushrooms that consume dead wood, like chicken of the woods. And we found that older one, but if you come up here, there's an absolutely beautiful chicken up here. And this is just, I mean, it's really a stunning specimen. Now, if you're a mushroom hunter and that doesn't get you excited, nothing will. The color is just at peak. When I touch it, it's moist, but I mean, it's just very, very tender. And I mean, it really looks like we caught it on the day best for picking. So we're gonna work hard at pulling that out. So we're out this morning in a big patch of boletes. You take a look at the size of those. And if we come a little bit further in here, you see you get a sense of proportion here. Most of them are going to end up probably being wormy, sadly. And these actually are not king boletes. And you can see in here that the worms are already hard at work, so they've come up through the stem until they've reached here, and you see a little worm squirming right there. So we know they're not, even if they were a choice edible, they'd be tough to harvest at this point. And if you look over to the right through the woods, there's even another one over here, another big one. And one of the ways that you can tell that this is not a king is if you look at the stipe on this, it's pretty straight up and down. It's not at all bulbous at the base. And I'll show you one here. This is a king. And you see as it descends to the base, it actually is wider at the base than it is at the top. And this is, you know, a much straighter deal. The other thing is, and I'm not sure if you can tell with the camera here, but they both have a little bit of, or they both have reticulation, which is sort of a pattern that you can see, a veiny pattern here. But this one less so. The other difference is the bottom of this one is white. The bottom of this one, although it's older, is more of a yellow color. So not really interested in this one. super interested in this one.
I was restless. I was young. I was a kid. I spoke in tongues.
Who's going to split some with me? So I'll eat about 6.
Sure.
So pepper, sweet potato, or... Well, not chips.
Let's split chips.
You want chips?
I'm kidding, man.